Listen very carefully. Every Friday morning there is a moment when the heavens open. A moment when the angels begin recording the names of those who honored this blessed day. And there is one recitation, simple, short, and filled with divine light that can make your name rise among them with honor. My beloved brothers and sisters, if the angels were writing names right now, would they write yours? Because what you are about to hear may change every Friday of your life. The forgotten gift that arrives every Friday. My beloved brothers and sisters, Friday is not just a date on the calendar, and it is not simply the end of another busy week. It is a gift that returns to us 7 days at a time, a reminder that no matter how heavy life becomes, the doors of mercy are never closed. This blessed day was chosen for the believers long before our footsteps touched this earth, long before our worries, our regrets, and our hopes were written. Yet many people wake up on Friday unaware of the spiritual treasure placed right in front of them. They rise with tired hearts, scroll through their phones before their eyes fully open, rush to work or school without realizing they have stepped into a day when the heavens are watching more closely than usual. They do not feel the quiet peace that settles in the early morning, nor do they sense the invisible blessings descending with every breath they take. But those who pause even for a moment discover something extraordinary. Friday morning carries a softness that does not belong to any other day. It is a morning where the heart feels lighter without knowing why, where the soul feels gently pulled towards something higher, and where the unseen world draws nearer, as if inviting us to step closer to the light. This is the moment when a believer's day can transform completely, when a small act of remembrance can pull them out of spiritual darkness and place them beneath divine protection. And within this sacred morning, there is one recitation that shines brighter than the rest. A recitation connected to ancient stories of courage and faith. A surah filled with lessons for those struggling to remain strong in a collapsing world. It is the surah that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam instructed us to recite every Friday, because its blessings extend far beyond the minutes spent reading it. It becomes a shield for the heart, a lantern for the mind, a source of calm for the restless soul. And when recited on Friday morning, it becomes a reason for your name to be carried with honor by the angels who witness your sincerity and your devotion. This is the forgotten treasure of Friday, a divine opportunity that waits for those who are willing to slow down, breathe, and remember the one who never forgets them. The light of Surah Al-Kahf 18 that follows you for an entire week. My beloved brothers and sisters, among all the chapters of the Quran, there is one that stands as a fortress for the believer, a beacon of clarity in times of confusion and a source of strength when the world feels overwhelming. That surah is Surah Al-Kahf, Surah 18, a gift that was sent to guide the hearts of those who feel lost between the pressures of life and the tests that seem too heavy to carry. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam told us something remarkable. Whoever recites Surah Al-Kahf 18 on Friday will be surrounded by a light that stretches from this Friday to the next. Imagine that for a moment, an entire week of unseen protection, a spiritual glow enveloping your steps, a clarity placed inside your chest that you may not even understand at first. This surah was not revealed randomly. It came with stories that mirror the struggles of every believer, no matter their age or circumstance. It speaks about the young people who stood firm when the world tried to silence their faith, reminding you that your courage is never unnoticed. It speaks about the man surrounded by wealth who lost himself, showing you that success without humility is a trap, not a blessing. It speaks about the seeker of truth traveling through hardship, teaching you that guidance is found not in ease, but in persistence. And it speaks about the great trial of deception, reminding you that light is the only shield against the darkness of confusion. When you recite Surah Al-Kahf 18 on Friday morning, you align your heart with these timeless lessons. You pull yourself out of the noise of the world and place yourself into a rhythm that the angels witness with admiration. Your name becomes attached to sincerity, to remembrance, to a moment of light that rises above a week of distractions. And the beauty of this surah is that it does not leave you after you close the book. Its blessing follows you into your conversations, your decisions, your challenges, and even the whispers of doubt that try to shake you. It strengthens you without you noticing, and it protects you from paths you were never meant to walk. This is why the believers hold on to Surah Al-Kahf 18 so tightly. It is not merely a weekly recitation, it is a light, a companion, a shield, a reminder that no test in this world is greater than the one who guides you through it. And every Friday morning, when your lips recite its verses with sincerity, the angels record your name among those who honored this day, those who showed gratitude, those who sought the light that leads to clarity and peace. When the angels witness your Friday morning and raise your name with honor. My beloved brothers and sisters, there is something profoundly moving about the quiet moments of Friday morning. Long before the world becomes loud, long before responsibilities pull you in every direction, there is a sacred stillness that settles upon the earth. It is in this stillness that a believer's heart becomes most transparent, most honest, and most visible to the unseen world around them. When you sit with Surah Al-Kahf 18 in these early hours, you are not reading alone. Your breath is recorded. Your intention is noted. Your sincerity is witnessed. The angels gather, not in a distant place, but close enough to hear your recitation, close enough to carry your name through realms you cannot imagine. We often underestimate how heavy our names can feel after a long week. Names burdened by worry, guilt, exhaustion, doubts, mistakes we regret, moments we wish we handled differently. But the moment you begin reciting Surah Al-Kahf 18, that heaviness starts to dissolve. It's as if every verse becomes a rope lifting your heart out of the darkness you quietly carried. You feel lighter, not because life suddenly became easy, but because the divine light of this surah begins to settle into the deepest corners of your soul. And as you recite, the angels write. They write with honor. They write with respect. They write with admiration for a believer who chooses remembrance in a world drowning in distraction. Imagine your name rising, passing through layers of creation not seen by human eyes, being carried in a realm where sincerity shines brighter than anything else. This is not symbolic. This is real. Your effort, your voice, your devotion, they are noticed in ways you will only come to understand when everything hidden becomes clear. There are people who are known on earth for their fame, their wealth, their talents. But there are believers who are known in the heavens for a single moment of sincerity, a quiet recitation, a tear of humility, a whisper of gratitude. And on Friday morning, when you begin your day with Surah Al-Kahf 18, you become one of those whose names rise with honor. You may think your recitation is small, but in the sight of the angels and in the records written beyond human reach, it is monumental. Every verse you read becomes a testimony that you turn toward the one who never turns away from you. Every effort you make becomes a witness that your faith is alive, even when your life feels overwhelmed. This is the dignity of a believer, not perfection, not endless strength, but sincerity, quiet, constant, and seen by the one who rewards without measure. And so every Friday morning, Surah Al-Kahf 18 becomes a bridge between your world and the unseen. It becomes the moment when your name is lifted, honored, and wrapped in a light that stays with you until the next Friday arrives. How Surah Al-Kahf 18 reshapes your entire week with a light you cannot see but always feel. My beloved brothers and sisters, there comes a point in every believer's life when the world begins to feel overwhelming. Responsibilities grow heavier, emotions become tangled, and the heart feels pulled between hope and fear, strength and exhaustion, clarity and confusion. We live in a time where everything is loud, the expectations of others, the noise of our own thoughts, the pressure to hold ourselves together even when our hearts are quietly breaking. And yet, in the midst of this chaos, there is a surah that was sent not just to be recited, but to be lived. A surah that gently takes you by the hand and leads you away from the storms of the world, guiding you toward calmness, understanding, and inner strength. That surah is Surah Al-Kahf 18, a chapter that reshapes your heart, your mind, and even your perspective on the difficulties you face. When you recite this surah on Friday morning, something remarkable happens long before you reach the final verse. The light promised by the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam begins to settle inside you in ways you may not immediately recognize. You feel a softening, a gentleness that melts fear, a clarity that quiets confusion, a peace that reaches places inside you that you did not even know were hurting. This light does not simply cover you, it transforms you. It changes the way you think, the way you react, the way you carry yourself throughout the week. Suddenly, the problem that felt impossible on Thursday looks different on Friday. The decision you were afraid to make becomes clearer. The anxiety that lived in your chest starts to loosen its grip, because when divine light touches a heart, that heart cannot remain the same. Surah Al-Kahf 18 was revealed with stories of people who survived overwhelming tests, tests of faith, tests of wealth, tests of knowledge, tests of power. Each story mirrors a struggle you carry today. Sometimes you are like the youths of the cave trying to stay strong in a world pulling you away from what is right. Sometimes you are like the man with 2 gardens tested by blessings that shake your humility. Sometimes you are like Musa seeking wisdom through experiences you cannot yet understand. Sometimes you are like Dhul Qarnayn tasked with responsibility bigger than your strength. And when you recite this surah, these stories begin to speak to you directly. They remind you that every trial you face has a purpose. Every delay carries wisdom, and every hardship is shaping you into someone stronger, someone wiser, someone closer to your Creator. But perhaps the most beautiful part is this. The effects of Surah Al-Kahf 18 do not fade when you close the Quran. They walk with you into every room you enter. They stand with you during your silent moments of fear. They protect you when you are unaware of danger. They guide you when you are unsure of yourself. The surah builds a shield around your heart, not a shield that blocks life, but a shield that strengthens you to face it with dignity and resilience. It lights the path ahead of you even when you cannot see the full road. It steadies your steps when the world tries to shake your confidence. It whispers hope to you in moments when everyone else is silent. And the angels who witnessed your recitation on Friday morning continue writing your deeds throughout the week with a special honor. Because the one who begins their Friday with remembrance becomes a person whose week unfolds under divine care. This is why the believers hold on to this surah so tightly. Not because it is a ritual, but because it is a lifeline, a weekly renewal, a reminder that you are never walking alone and that light is always available to those who seek it sincerely. The week transforms when the heart begins Friday with Surah Al-Kahf 18. My beloved brothers and sisters, life has a way of wearing us down quietly. Not all struggles are loud. Some are gentle storms that nobody else notices, the silent pressure inside the chest, the unspoken fears tucked beneath a smile, the responsibilities that feel heavier each passing week. And often we keep walking, pretending we are fine, while deep inside we are simply hoping for a moment of relief, a breath of peace, a sign that we are not alone in our journey. This is where the beauty of Friday morning comes alive. When you sit with Surah Al-Kahf 18 at the very start of your day, you are doing something far more powerful than reading verses. You are recharging your soul. You are telling your heart, you have survived another week and now we begin again. You are telling your mind, you do not have to carry this alone. You are telling your Lord, I am here and I am trying. And what happens next is something only those who truly commit to this surah every Friday understand. Your entire week begins to feel different. Not because your problems magically disappear, but because your ability to face them becomes stronger, calmer, wiser. The light from Surah Al-Kahf 18 seeps into parts of your week you would never expect. You find yourself making decisions with more clarity. You handle emotional situations with more patience. You resist temptations with more strength. You think before you speak, because the heart inside you is no longer clouded. It is carrying the peace of a divine reminder. When you face a difficulty, you remember the youths of the cave and realize that standing for truth sometimes requires isolation, but isolation with faith is never loneliness. When you feel overwhelmed by blessings, you remember the story of the 2 gardens and understand the importance of humility before pride destroys what you love. When confusion enters your mind, you remember Musa and the hidden wisdom behind every delayed answer, every closed door, every unexpected turn in your life. When you feel the weight of responsibility, you remember Dhul Qarnayn, that true strength lies not in power, but in justice, sincerity, and fulfilling what your Creator entrusted you with. This surah is not a storybook, it's a mirror. It reflects your struggles back to you and shows you the way out with dignity and faith. It tells you, you are not failing, you are growing. It reminds you, you are not forgotten, you are being prepared. It whispers, light is on the way, keep walking. And the angels who witnessed your recitation do not forget that moment. What they saw in you, the sincerity, the effort, the desire to reconnect becomes a source of honor for your name throughout the week. When you slip, they record your repentance. When you try again, they record your determination. When you hold on to hope, they record your strength. This is why reciting Surah Al-Kahf 18 on Friday morning is not just a ritual, it is a weekly foundation. It resets your heart, purifies your intentions, protects your steps, and fills your week with a light the world cannot drown. And perhaps the most beautiful part is this. Your Friday morning becomes a sign of who you truly are. Not the mistakes you made, not the fears you hide, not the burdens you carry, but the sincerity you bring to your Lord even in your weakest moments. In that sincerity, in that devotion, in that quiet recitation, the angels witness your entire week is transformed in ways you feel, even if you cannot explain them. The angels do not forget the one who honors Friday with Surah Al-Kahf. My beloved brothers and sisters, there is a reality unfolding around you at every moment, a reality that cannot be seen with the eyes, but can be felt by the heart that remembers its creator. Every day, angels move through your life quietly, recording your intentions, witnessing your struggles, carrying your whispered prayers, and guarding you in ways you may never fully comprehend. But on Friday morning, something extraordinary happens. The angels do not simply pass by. They gather, they witness, they write with honor, and they elevate the names of those who show sincerity in remembrance. When you recite Surah Al-Kahf 18 on this blessed morning, your name is not just written, it is raised. It is lifted with dignity, adorned with light, and carried with the reverence given only to those who choose devotion over distraction. And what is even more beautiful is this: the angels continue to remember that moment for the rest of the week. Many people assume the angels only write their mistakes, their weaknesses, their moments of forgetfulness, but the angels are not collectors of your shame, they are witnesses of your efforts. They are moved by sincerity, they are honored by your remembrance. They record the tremble in your voice when your heart is hurting. They record the tear that falls quietly when no one else is watching. They record the moment you open the Quran even though the world has exhausted you. And on Friday morning with Surah Al-Kahf 18 on your tongue, they record not just a recitation, they record a turning point, a renewed intention, a heart trying again, a soul returning to the one who never turns away. Think of the week you just lived. The moments when you doubted yourself, yet kept moving. The nights when you slept with a heavy heart, but still woke up hopeful. The times you hid your pain, but continued to trust in better days. All of that does not disappear in the sight of the heavens. Your effort is noticed. Your resilience is loved. Your sincerity is honored. This is why beginning Friday with Surah Al-Kahf 18 becomes such a powerful spiritual act. You are not only reciting, you are rewiring your week. You are placing light between your yesterday and your tomorrow. You are giving the angels a reason to write your name in the record of honor, the record of those who stood firm even when life was heavy. And the effects of this surah continue to follow you long after the morning ends. When you speak, there is more wisdom. When you face difficulties, there is more patience. When whispers of doubt try to shake your heart, there is more clarity. Because this surah does not leave you empty, it fills you with layers of strength you may not even recognize until life tests you. Some people wonder why their hearts remain heavy even though they are trying their best. Often, it is because the heart is carrying too much without the weekly cleansing that Friday brings. Surah Al-Kahf 18 becomes that cleansing, a spiritual reset that removes the dust of 6 days of stress, pressure, distraction, and emotional fatigue. The angels who witnessed your recitation carry that moment with them as they document your week. When they see you struggle, they remember your sincerity. When they see you fall, they remember your effort. When they see you get back up, they remember your devotion. And so the believer who recites the surah on Friday morning walks into the next 7 days with a grace that others can feel but cannot explain. People may notice that you are calmer, more grounded, more hopeful, but they will not understand the heavenly light escorting you. They will not see the angels who witnessed your morning. They will not feel the protection placed over your heart. but you will feel it. You will feel it in the way your thoughts become clearer, in the way your chest feels lighter, in the way your faith feels steadier. This is the transformation that Friday brings to the believer, a transformation built on remembrance, sincerity, and the recitation of a surah that carries the power of light across an entire week. The week you dream of begins with Surah Al-Kahf. My beloved brothers and sisters, every believer longs for a peaceful week, a week where the heart feels light, the mind feels clear, and the soul feels connected to its creator. A week where problems feel manageable, where unexpected blessings arrive quietly, where confusion fades, and where you wake up each day with a sense of direction instead of a cloud of worry. But peace is not something that simply appears. It is something the heart must prepare for, protect, and invite. And there is no stronger weekly invitation to peace than beginning your Friday with Surah Al-Kahf 18. Because the believer who starts with light does not walk into darkness. The believer who begins with remembrance does not collapse under pressure. The believer who honors Friday morning is honored by the heavens all week long. You see, my beloved brothers and sisters, life does not always wait for you to be ready. Tests arrive suddenly. News changes in a moment. People disappoint you without warning. Opportunities slip before you can grab them. And some days, you wake up with a heavy heart without even knowing why. But the heart that is strengthened on Friday morning is never truly unprepared, because this surah protects you before the difficulty comes. It calms you before the storm forms. It guides you before the confusion appears. It gives you patience before the test even reaches your door. This is the unseen gift of Surah Al-Kahf 18. It prepares your soul for things you don't even know you will face. And the angels who witnessed your recitation carry that moment throughout the week. When you feel like giving up, the light of your Friday morning lifts you. When someone hurts you with their words, the patience you gain from your recitation steadies your heart. When you feel lost in your decisions, the clarity from this surah begins to unfold in your mind. When fear whispers to you at night, the strength you earned from its verses becomes your shield. So understand this deeply. You are not reciting a surah for a single moment. You are building a foundation for 7 days of spiritual strength. Every verse becomes a wall against despair. Every story becomes a reminder of hope. Every lesson becomes a compass guiding your choices. Every moment of sincerity becomes a seed planted in the unseen world, growing blessings you will meet later in your life. You never know which recitation will become the turning point. Maybe one Friday morning will be the moment your life shifts. Maybe one recitation will be the moment the angels write your name with a special mark of honor. Maybe one reading will be the moment your prayers finally begin unfolding. Maybe one sincere effort will be the moment divine help starts moving toward you. And this is why the wise believer never abandons the light of Friday morning. The believer knows, even when my week has been heavy, even when my heart is tired, even when my soul is struggling, this surah will carry me. So make Surah Al-Kahf 18 your anchor, your weekly promise, your moment of returning home to your Creator. Make it the reminder that no matter how difficult life becomes, the heavens never turn away from a heart that remembers with sincerity. Because the week you dream of, the peace you long for, the clarity you pray for, the blessings you hope for, the protection you need, all of it begins with the light you place inside your soul on Friday morning. And the angels who recorded your name carry that light for you into every moment that follows. My beloved brothers and sisters, if there is one moment in your week that can change everything, it is the moment you choose to remember your Creator when your heart is tired, when your mind is overwhelmed, and when your soul is quietly longing for peace. Friday morning is not simply a time, it is a doorway through which light enters your life, blessings follow your steps, and angels carry your name with honor. And the key that opens this doorway is your recitation of Surah Al-Kahf 18. So make this your promise, a promise to yourself, a promise to your heart, a promise to the one who never forgets you, even when the world does. Begin your Friday with light and watch how the rest of your week aligns with wisdom, strength, and calmness. May the angels record your name with honor every Friday morning. May your heart walk in the light of this surah throughout the week. May your soul never lose hope, no matter how heavy life becomes. And may you always be among those whose remembrance is witnessed, whose efforts are accepted, and whose names are written among the sincere. My beloved brothers and sisters, until we meet again, keep reciting, keep hoping, keep walking in light.